Welcome to World in Depth, where we uncover stories you won't believe are real. Today, we'll tell you how Polish gangsters almost caused Russia's downfall. During Poland's transformation in the early 1990s, organized crime seized the opportunity to execute a daring heist. This is the story of ambition, deception, and a near-catastrophic event that could have changed the course of a nation's economy. This story begins in the early 1990s. Poland was a country undergoing rapid and dramatic transformation. The fall of communism in 1989 ushered in a new era of political and economic reforms. Democratic elections, the introduction of a free market, and the privatization of state-owned enterprises symbolized Poland's hopes for the future. These sweeping changes also came at a steep cost. Thousands of people lost their jobs, and cracks in the newly formed legal and security systems created opportunities for chaos and exploitation. Law enforcement agencies, which had previously been focused on suppressing political opposition, were suddenly tasked with combating a surge in organized crime. Smuggling, extortion, and counterfeit operations flourished in the power vacuum left by the disintegration of the old regime. Two dominant mafia groups emerged as the faces of this new criminal era: the Ruble Gang and the Wolomin Gang. These groups embodied the ruthlessness and opportunism of Poland's post-communist underworld, operating on the outskirts of Warsaw. The Wolomin Gang quickly gained notoriety as one of the most dangerous criminal syndicates in the country. Its leader, Henryk Niewiadomski, widely known by his nickname Jad, the Old Man, was a figure who inspired both fear and admiration. A cunning and strategic mind, Niewiadomski commanded loyalty from his associates, while earning the reputation of a man who could outsmart even the most determined law enforcement officials. The 1990s are often referred to as Poland's wild years, and for good reason. It was a time when the boundaries between legality and lawlessness often blurred. The government was working to build new institutions, such as the State Protection Office UOP, which replaced the former Security Service SB of the communist era. These fledgling agencies lacked experience, resources, and coordination, leaving the door wide open for organized crime to thrive. Amid this backdrop of instability, Niewiadomski and his gang devised one of the boldest criminal operations in Poland's history. Instead of relying on traditional methods, such as extortion or robberies, they aimed higher, targeting something far more valuable: 5 tons of specialized paper used to print Russian rubles. At the time, this paper was essential to maintaining the stability of Russia's currency, and stealing it had the potential to cause massive economic turmoil. The story of the Wolomin Gang's daring heist is one of audacity, cunning, and exploitation of a nation in transition. It serves as a reminder of how fragile systems can be manipulated by those willing to take advantage of uncertainty and disorder. Henryk Niewiadomski led his gang through meticulous preparations for the heist, focusing on every possible detail. Using their network of contacts, they obtained critical information about the transport route, schedule, and security measures. The shipment of specialized paper for printing Russian rubles was under strict surveillance by the State Protection Office, demanding an exceptionally well-executed plan. The gang's strategy revolved around using 2 nearly identical trucks. One was designated to carry the stolen paper to a secure location, while the other, a decoy, was meant to mislead and distract law enforcement. The gang cloned license plates, crafted convincing transport documents, and ensured both trucks looked indistinguishable from the official transport, adding credibility to their operation. The routes for both trucks were planned with precision. The decoy truck followed the exact path anticipated by UOP, deliberately attracting attention and ensuring close monitoring by agents. Meanwhile, the real truck carrying the paper took a carefully mapped alternative route, avoiding all checkpoints in areas under heightened surveillance. This division of roles was key to the plan's success. Perfect timing was essential, with both trucks set to depart almost simultaneously. The gang anticipated potential responses from the authorities and accounted for observation points and possible vehicle identification methods. Every detail, from the behavior of drivers to the appearance of documents, was designed to ensure the operation's success and avoid detection. Preparation spanned several weeks, with the plan undergoing repeated reviews to eliminate any potential errors. The gang understood that even the smallest misstep could lead to their capture and compromise the entire operation. Their attention to detail and strategic planning left little room for error, making their plan almost impossible for law enforcement to intercept. On the planned day of the heist, gang members, disguised as security guards, stopped the original transport on a strategically chosen section of the highway. They efficiently immobilized the driver, secured the vehicle, and transferred 5 tons of specialized paper to their own truck. The decoy truck continued along the official route, effectively diverting the attention of the police and UOP agents. The Rio truck with the cargo took a detour, avoiding all established checkpoints. Thorough planning and a deep understanding of the terrain allowed the true vehicle to pass unnoticed through critical control points. Once safely arrived at a hidden location, the gang had time to plan their next steps. When the decoy truck reached its destination and turned out to be empty, authorities quickly realized they had been deceived. An immediate alarm was raised and patrols were deployed, but the criminals had already disappeared using pre-planned escape routes. An intensive search operation began, but the cleverly planned operation and quick response of the gang allowed them to avoid quick capture. It soon became clear that without additional information, pursuing them would be challenging. Threat of introducing millions of counterfeit rubles loomed large, with experts warning of profound economic disruption. If the entirety of the high-quality counterfeit paper entered circulation, it could undermine the Russian economy, potentially triggering severe hyperinflation. Such a scenario would not only diminish trust in the ruble, but could also escalate existing geopolitical tensions between Moscow and Warsaw into a full-blown economic crisis. The risk of a diplomatic rift grew as speculation mounted that Russia might blame Poland for inadequate security measures that allowed the heist. The atmosphere was charged with tension, with Polish officials bracing for possible covert recoveries by Russian operatives, intensifying the need for strategic diplomatic engagements to mitigate escalating international pressures. The successful heist revealed critical oversights in Poland's security operations, especially the reliance on the decoy truck, which was seen as a peripheral element until it was too late. The fallout was immediate, prompting an overhaul of security protocols and a significant reinforcement of agencies involved in national security, particularly those tasked with safeguarding sensitive materials. Authorities mobilized special operations units, forensic experts, and intelligence teams to scour potential hideouts, border crossings, and remote warehouses. The scale of the operation was vast, involving aerial reconnaissance, ground searches, and coordination between local and national agencies. Every lead, no matter how small, was pursued, creating a sense of urgency and relentless focus. A breakthrough came when a few gang members, pressured by increasing scrutiny and the looming threat of prosecution, provided information on the whereabouts of some of the stolen paper. Acting swiftly, authorities conducted a series of high-stakes raids on warehouses and concealed storage locations. These operations led to the recovery of 3.7 tons of paper, a critical success that offered some relief but left significant questions unanswered. The remaining ton, however, vanished without a trace, and its fate became the focus of intense speculation. Analysts proposed several theories. The paper might have been sold to organized crime syndicates abroad, destroyed to avoid detection, or hidden in a location so remote and secure that even the gang's downfall wouldn't expose it. These unanswered questions fueled public intrigue and kept investigators on edge. The implications of the missing ton were profound. Security experts warned that it could still be used to produce vast quantities of counterfeit rubles, capable of destabilizing economies and creating political chaos. The specter of economic sabotage and the possibility of foreign exploitation added an international dimension to the case, intensifying the pressure on Polish authorities to find answers. Despite relentless efforts, the mystery of the missing paper remained unsolved, casting a shadow over the investigation and keeping the stakes alarmingly high. After the audacious heist involving specialized paper for printing rubles, the Wolomin Gang faced increasing pressure. Polish authorities, supported by international agencies, launched extensive operations that systematically dismantled the gang's infrastructure. Intensive investigation and coordinated field actions exposed the group's vulnerabilities, leading to its gradual disintegration. At the center of this story lies the missing ton of paper, which has never been recovered, sparking ongoing speculation and intrigue. Various theories surround the fate of the missing ton. Some suggest it was sold to international criminal networks and used to produce counterfeit currencies. Others speculate it was destroyed to eliminate evidence, while another hypothesis posits it was hidden in a location so secure it remains undiscovered to this day. The unresolved fate of this paper adds a layer of mystery, ensuring the story continues to captivate public attention. Within the gang itself, internal tensions mounted. External pressure from authorities, coupled with leadership disputes, severely weakened the group's unity. Violent clashes with the rival Prushkow gang further escalated the turmoil, leading to a significant loss of power and influence. Once a dominant force in Poland's criminal underworld, the Wolomin Gang began to crumble. For Niewiadomski, this marked not only the end of his criminal enterprise, but also a period of profound personal loss. 2 months before his release from custody, his son was tragically murdered under circumstances that remain unresolved. This devastating event deeply affected Niewiadomski, casting a shadow over his final years. Henryk died on April 13, 2007, in the Makato Prison Hospital in Warsaw. His death closed a controversial chapter in the history of organized crime in Poland. Chad remains a divisive figure in history, celebrated by some for his audacity and strategic brilliance, while criticized by others for the violence and chaos he left behind. The missing ton of paper is one of the most baffling pieces of this story. Its fate continues to elude historians and investigators, leaving behind questions that may never be answered. This lingering mystery ensures the tale of the Wolomin Gang and its notorious leader remains one of the most captivating narratives from Poland's post-communist era. If this story captured your interest, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What's your theory about the missing paper? Let us know, and stay tuned for more fascinating stories.